Hi, thank you so much for joining us as we kick off this GiveSI 30-hour giving campaign. Now the 30 hours doesn't start until later this afternoon, but we had so many nonprofits who we wanted to make sure we had an opportunity to interview. So we're going to start the interviews now, and then we'll start the 30-hour giving campaign at 5 o'clock this evening as we kick off for GiveSI on this Monday afternoon. We've got a lineup of nonprofits who we're going to be interviewing. They're going to tell us a little bit about the mission of their organization, as well as what impact they have on the community and what your donation will impact in their organization and how that will impact as well. So as we get started, we're going to tell you a little bit about giving campaign. Tell you how to donate, how to be part of it, a little bit of information about who are for this and statistics as well. This year, this is our 4th year. That's right. And when this started, we really had the idea that you and Charlie wanted to really impact communities through the nonprofit organizations. But the idea was maybe we'll do 30 nonprofits and get about $30,000 in this giving campaign. And that first year we kind of had over 60 nonprofits, and now we're in year 4. So coming from year 1 to year 4, what was that like being able to see kind of that vision of what you and Charlie wanted GiveSI to be? How was that coming to life?
Well, thank you, Michelle and Tom, for being here with us.
Well, thank you for the introduction. She just kind of took over there for a second. No, but yes, we definitely want to know. I'm excited. Thank you both before. I didn't want to interrupt Byram, but when you have someone sitting there, it looks really awkward for a little bit. So I'm excited to be able to do this with you, Michelle, again this year. And Byram, always thank you guys for allowing me to come in and do this. I enjoy it much more now that I have Michelle to have that energy to keep going. But I, like you, enjoy learning about all these nonprofits that we have in this area because I think a lot of people still don't know. We talk about that with everybody that, like our guest coming up soon, Larry, he's like, we've been here forever. And, people are still learning about these nonprofits. So I think the beauty of what you guys have done, you and Charlie, WSIL and the Southern Illinois Community Foundation, is to make a voice to market them year after year. So we're like punching it away. But as Michelle said, what kind of goals, what kind of projections are we looking at here, Byram?
Well, it's always hard to figure that out. Of course, coming from year 1, that was the year where we were in the middle of the pandemic. And so we had to do everything this way. All of our meetings with our nonprofits were on some type of video service, and everything was at a distance. So really, when we kind of beat ourselves like goals and everything that first year, that was exciting. And then we've kind of built on each year. This year, we're looking at right now, there's 112 different nonprofits participating. And I think we've even had someone ask today to get added to the list just at the last minute. But so we have 112 different charitable causes that are impacting people all across Southern Illinois. And that's everything from, in this time of year, we just came out of Thanksgiving and a lot of food insecurity. That's a huge big one. But it's everything from homelessness to mental health to mentoring to all different types.
And one of my favorites, veterans.
And veterans.
And we have some great veterans organizations as well.
We do, and a couple new ones that I had not heard of in years past. Another exciting one that we had just added at the last minute last week was another group that I never heard of called SI Responders, and they focus on first responders and making sure their needs are taken care of whenever they're there to serve all of us in our times of needs as well. So a couple new veterans ones that I don't have in front of me right now to go look at.
Well, we joked about that. We have the list. People, but most of us now cannot. I have to have readers like as many other people do. It's what happens when you turn 50. But we do have the list, and you're right. It's amazing to see how this has grown just from the years. So Michelle.
Well, I kind of want to talk about how this puzzle fits together.
I wanted to ask you something.
Okay, go ahead.
So, Michelle.
Yes.
How has this year been? What have you provided that's different this year for these nonprofits? Because I feel like every year you step up. I don't know if it's Byram pushing you or you pushing yourself, but you keep adding all these great things because this year, we talked about it, This year, we've really seen our nonprofits, your nonprofits, take off with a lot of the marketing stuff that we've been, not drilling into, but providing year after year. They're really taking advantage of it this year. So what have you done, Michelle?
Absolutely. So Tom, to discuss how this fits together. We really wanted to have a platform and a way to raise money for the nonprofits who are impacting Southern Illinois. But on top of that, we also saw a need for these nonprofits to receive some training on things like marketing, right? As we go into this giving campaign, Giving Tuesday, there are a lot of other community foundations who do a day of giving, but a lot of those are in the spring or in the summer. So the fact that we've done it, in conjunction with Giving Tuesday is a little bit unique to Southern Illinois. And, we had WSIL to thank for that, to, give us that time frame of being able to do it for Giving Tuesday. But the way it fits together is we wanted to make sure we provided additional resources. And so that has come in the form of marketing sessions for the nonprofits, a marketing toolkit that kind of lays out what they can do. It includes a content calendar, when they should be posting, how they should be posting, how to use video, tips and techniques from Tom on, how to use digital marketing in a way that will, tell their story and be able to guide the donor and what that impact is going to have on their donation. So when you bring all of that together, it's more than just us having a platform, right, Byram? It's more than what you and Charlie talked about of having a way to impact nonprofits. It's really about what can we do to make sure that these nonprofits are successful. And Giving Tuesday is just one of those ways that they're successful when it comes to donating and fundraising and, the impact that they have. So being able to take all of that really and create this platform for GiveSI that allows nonprofits to not only collect those donations, but unique things like this, where they're able to tell their story. They get that, 10 or 15 minutes of fame that we give them because, Byram and I are really integrated into the nonprofit community in Southern Illinois. But every single year, there are nonprofits that we have not even heard of. And so it's that opportunity for them to be able to talk about the impact that their organization has.
No, absolutely. And I think that excitement of learning stuff, you ask about all the new things that we add each year, because it's not just important for today when we start at 5 o'clock for our day of giving, it's what they use, because it's not this one day will not fund every nonprofit for the full year.
Man, that would be awesome.
It would be, but it's not. It's like that. If most nonprofits rely on multiple fundraising events throughout the year, and I'm sure when the first guest Larry comes up, you'll get to hear some of that, because there's just no way to meet all the needs in one day. But this one day together, we get to think about all the things that every other nonprofit, and when we talk about people that are in crisis in our community, what I come back to a lot of times is that we're not in crisis just in one area. It's not like there's one need that you have. When you're in crisis, there's usually multiple things that are going on. And so you're relying on multiple nonprofits. So that's why a day of giving where we come together as all the nonprofits is important, because one of our nonprofits can take care of all of Southern Illinois. Not because their missions are different, but because there's just needs that go beyond what one person can do. So today, having all nonprofits come together for one day of giving is great. This would be a lot harder to do if we had 112 nonprofits trying to each have their own day of giving today, right?
Right.
So that would be kind of crazy. So today we come together, everybody, and get to all talk about all our different missions and how we support each other to try to support our community.
And back to Michelle's kind of puzzle piece, I think when they get to see each other and they communicate with each other, they see that, wow, their pieces might fit into theirs, and that they can work and collaborate collectively together, instead of thinking about there's only this one lump sum of money that everybody has to pull from. When you're like, just tell your story, let them know what you need and what the needs are, because I will tell you, each one of us has someone in our family that we connect with. Obviously, you guys know I'm very passionate about veterans, so that's the one I champion all the time. But we have those connections, and we have those programs in Southern Illinois to help address those. And sometimes our life changes and we find other passions. And so we have people that step up day in and day out here in Southern Illinois that I'm amazed. You guys get to work with them day in and day out. I get to come in like the crazy uncle and just, hey, this is awesome. This is great. You're great, and then I get to leave, but you guys are in the trenches every day, and And I think to give a shout out to the Southern Illinois Community Foundation, we are so lucky and blessed to have both of you guys, your team, Matt out. Just thank you guys for doing this and diligence and all the hours, and also WSIL and Charlie and you guys for working collectively together to make this happen.
Yes, and of course, today we're coming from Mountain View Park from on behalf of Oasis Outdoors, who is our presenting sponsor this year. And so we're very thankful for them giving us a nice place to come together. All the nonprofits can meet here and come in and out of this facility very easily. So we're very thankful for them. And then we, of course, have a long list of other sponsors that are all committing to that matching bonus pool, which we'll get to talk about more later. And I do have some cool stories about when you just talked about how the nonprofits connecting to each other. And but we'll come back to that because I know your first guest is just itching to get on here. It's not as scary, so all the nonprofits that still have to come, it's really not. It's just a conversation. It's just a chance to tell your story, have a ton of passion. And so for me, my passion, Michelle told me slow down, but my passion makes me speak faster and faster because
I feel you, Byram. Yeah, I feel you. So yeah.
It's excitement though. It's excitement to get to tell what we're doing, but it's even more exciting to tell what 112.
It also takes excitement to get through 30+ hours with each other. I'm just going to say, so we have no idea what this is going to look like by the end of the 30 hours, people, but it should be entertaining, be fun, should be compassionate. We should be able to really connect with a lot. If we do our job, we should be able to share some great information. And so I'll wrap this up and get ready for our first guest. The big question is, so how do people that are listening right now, what do they got to do and how do they support any of these nonprofits that they're getting ready to watch?
Well, it's GiveSI.org. That's the easiest place to go. There's a button right on the front that says donate now. We'd ask you to wait till 5. So, and the magic behind that is because our sponsor money is going into that 30 hours. And so whatever donations are happening during that 30 hours can get some portion of that bonus pool. Michelle will probably tell you a lot more about that as we go, but if you want to go ahead and go to GiveSI.org, start looking through those nonprofits that are important to you. You can go ahead and put your donations and put them in the cart. It's kind of like a shopping cart, and get ready. But don't hit donate. Don't hit send until after 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock tonight. So this starts 5 o'clock tonight. Find your nonprofits, and then one more thing. We say, what if I am such a giver? I'm so compassionate. I can't choose one veteran organization. How can I best benefit all of them?
So we do have a fund available for that. It's interesting that you bring that up, Tom. Thank you. So, if you have trouble figuring out, like you love all of the nonprofits on that list, feel free to donate to everyone.
Absolutely.
We're open to that. However, we do have a special fund for just GiveSI, and that money will be distributed to the nonprofits evenly. And so if you just can't decide which ones, you don't have one that tugs at your heart and you just want to give to all of them, then that's a great way to do that. But if there is that special one, right, or that special 2, or that special 3 that you really want to make sure you're giving to, you absolutely can do that. So if it's every veteran organization, then by all means, go donate to all the veteran organizations that are listed. You have that option. And those are some great stories that we'll be telling throughout this 30-hour giving campaign of ways that people have made unique contributions and things that have kind of surprised us and shocked us, right? From the first year until now, where, cumulatively, we are at $587,000. So in 3 years, we've been able to raise almost $600,000 for local nonprofits, and that's had such an impact on our community.
Absolutely. And one of the records that I kind of will be interested to break is last year we had someone who donated, I think, to 23 different nonprofits.
Wow.
Day. So they went through the list and kept finding, this is important to me too. It didn't take away from whatever nonprofit maybe brought them there first. They still, that you could tell that was their biggest donation. But then they went and said, but I do want to support this. And they went through the list and kind of scrolled through and said, this is really important. I didn't know about this one. I didn't know this was even out there. So, and we had, I don't know if we had 100 people maybe that did that last year that selected more than one. But we had one person that did like 23 different nonprofits. And just really neat because they could see all of these nonprofits that needed help.
All right, so we better keep to our own schedule. We got our 15 minutes down, so we need to get ready to start all these wonderful interviews today. Byram, thank you.
Absolutely, we'll be back.
Michelle, are you ready?
I am. Let's talk about how this is going to work. We probably should go over what our big plan is here. So we have nonprofits lined up today. We do have a break in between, but we've got nonprofits lined up. So here's how this is going to work. They're going to be outside the door when it's their turn. We're going to bring them in and do 10-minute interview or so and let them talk to you about the impact that their organization has in the community and what your donation will go for. So many of our nonprofits have specified a project or a program, something that donation is going to go for. So we're going to bring each of them in. When we're done, right now we're going to be live streaming on WSIL. So how exciting is that?
You know, we're nervous because the camera's going to constantly roll. I got our camera guy over there, and he's hopefully going to remind us, hey, we're done, we're off, but yeah, you get to see all this on WSIL's webpage. So this is pretty exciting for us too. We keep bringing more and more options and resources to let people know about these great nonprofits. So yeah, so we're ready to rock and roll. So you'll see everybody individually. Their interviews will kind of log off and log back on. So you can see these on all these different channels, not only the Southern Learning Community Foundation, but you can see these throughout the Harness Digital Marketing social media pages, and you'll also see these through WSIL online. I encourage you to look at all of them, support all of these great businesses that are trying to help you learn more about these amazing nonprofits. So without further ado, I think we're going to close out and get started with our first interview.